Hey everybody, we're back with another spotlight with my friend Johnny Lumpkin, the owner of Lumpkin Travel. So let me tell you, Johnny does all of our traveling arrangements for my husband and I. Rarely will we go out there and find something on our own, but he does a magnificent job of handling everything for you for your travel. So, Johnny.
Yes.
How long have you been in the area?
In the area, I moved here in 1995. I was actually in school and working back then it was called Me Coded Board. Up in the North Atlanta area in the sales office.
Oh.
They had decided they wanted to close the office and move it closer to the mill, which is over here in Phoenix City. And so I came down with it. I was actually a temp at the time. And I thought I was going to be here for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And 2 weeks turned into a month and turned into 6 months. And I have
25 years later.
25 years later. That's how I ended up moving to Columbus from Atlanta, which is where I'm born and raised.
Okay. Now, I want to say that I kind of had a hand in you getting in the travel business.
Either you or our pastor.
It was not our pastor.
It was not our pastor?
It was me.
It was you?
Yes.
Okay, because I remember getting a phone call.
I know he's watching, but it was not you.
That was 15 years ago.
It was.
It was. He reached out to me. You know, he's a master network marketer.
Yes, he is. And you all will see something from him soon.
Yeah, and so he approached me with an opportunity about a travel business.
Yeah.
And as he presented it to me, it sounded good, and it was more of the marketing side was, you sign up so many people and what have you, but I love the agency part of it, and that's what interests me more. And I said, yeah, let me get into this. So as the years went on, I noticed that a lot of people were getting out of it.
Yep.
Because they really weren't into it, and I stayed.
I was one of them.
And as I continued to do it, I said, let me focus on this travel agency, start to build it, start to learn it.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. So 15 years later, I'm still doing it.
Yeah.
Still doing it well.
Yes.
And love it. I love being a travel agent.
Let me tell you, I started this around the same time that Johnny did, and it just wasn't for me. And that goes to show you that in this technology world,
yes,
where people are jumping online to do their own travel, if you make yourself valuable, people will use you, even though they could probably go online and do it themselves. I prefer to use Johnny, as do many other people who use him, because he goes above and beyond. It's the little things that he does in addition to the big things that he does that makes me constantly come back and constantly refer him to other people.
Thanks.
So we've heard that he loves the travel business. So you've been doing it for 15 years. Wonderful. Mm-hmm. How do people find you?
They can find me several ways. One, on my website, lumpkintravel.com.
Okay.
And it's real easy. You can go there. I call it, as far as booking 1, 2, 3. There's a page where you can go, fill out what you're looking for. I get an email, and then we start a conversation to talk about where you want to go, and actually get all the information so I can send you a quote. You can also find me on social media, of course, Instagram and Facebook. I have pages on both at Lumpkin Travel.
Okay.
And you can email me on lumpkintravel@gmail.com.
All right. So, folks, you can find. And what's your business number?
706-577-5778.
So, you'll see that information somewhere around here.
Yes.
Call him. Call him. Just try him once. I promise you will love the service that you get. You'll love the little things that he does when it comes to travel. And you really never know how valuable a travel agent is until you use one. I can't say enough about him. Folks, just give him a try. You'll love him.
If I could add to that, one thing that customers will see once they try a travel agent, is that for the most part, it doesn't cost them any different than if they were to go and book it themselves.
Okay. So now it's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. Just give me the opportunity to give you a quote, no obligation, that you can see the prices. You can, and I actually expect customers to do what customers do, is shop around,
Right,
and see what other opportunities there are. I think a lot of people have this this mindset that an agent, just like other types of agents, you have to pay them extra. But the travel agency is a little different, because we get our commissions from the suppliers, the cruise lines, the hotels, rental cars, the airlines.
and folks, there's no reason not to use them.
Right, and they're actually going to charge you the same price if you book it yourself than if you book the travel agency.
See? So if you're going to be a blessing, you're going to pay the amount. Why do that and not do all the work? One last thing I want to ask Johnny, and first, for those of you all who are wondering why we are sitting like we are and don't have masks on, trust me, we've already pre-done, I've sprayed them down with Lysol. No, I didn't, but we're good. But my question for you, Johnny, is how has COVID changed, and what advantages are there to booking now?
Okay, so the answer to the first question, how has COVID changed? As what everybody's seeing with travel and how there are so many restrictions out there now, it has changed. I think it's changed the industry more than any other industry that's out there. For the last, I guess since March, really, everything was pretty much completely shut down. Okay. You couldn't go anywhere. Till now, since August, it's starting to slowly open. Okay. But if any, I guess for me, if there's any other time to use a travel agent, it's now, because the rules and regulations and restrictions at one point were changing daily.
Oh, wow.
So most of the travel suppliers were relying on travel agents to get the word out as to where they can fly, what requirements it takes to get into certain countries. Okay. I was just talking to somebody earlier about a trip to Jamaica, and a lot of people may not know that that in order to go to Jamaica, you have to be tested negative within 7 days of arrival.
I did not know that. And
there's an actual electronic form you have to fill out, and you also have to attach your negative test result and take it with you in order to get into Jamaica if you don't want to be quarantined once you arrive.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of other countries that are the same way. And even domestically, right now, Hawaii still has a 14-day quarantine if you go to Hawaii. And other places require 72-hour test results before you arrive, which for most people, that sounds almost unheard of. How can I get tested and plan this out before I go on my wedding or amazing trip? But that's what everybody's requiring now. Unless you want to go somewhere and be stuck in one place for however long you're there, and then spend all that money and not be able to do anything. So, it's important to reach out to a travel agent, find out, what are my restrictions? I'm going during this time. Let me know what it is I have to do, so that way I can have a great trip, but I can also have a safe one.
So, if I want to book some trips for John and I for next year, is it cheaper for me to do it with you now?
Yes, it's cheaper to do it now, and I'll tell you why. Right now, everything's open for next year. And the expectation is as slowly things start to open, everything's being phased in their openings. The earlier, the better. For two reasons. One, it's going to save you some money because the prices are still good now because they want people to book. Two, the availability is going to be there now because once things really start to open up, it's going to be a swarm of people booking trips, booking cruises. The availability is not going to be there.
Gotcha.
Add to the fact that a lot of suppliers are still not working at full occupancy. Even right now, the airports and the airlines are not selling their middle seats through the end of the year. So so those are seats. So that'd be less people on the planes. Hotels are working at a smaller occupancy. And then once the cruises start traveling again, they're not going to be a full occupancy. So there's less seats, less cabins that are going to be available. And eventually, from the clients I've talked to, they are so ready to cruise. They are so ready to travel.
I miss cruising.
And y'all, I do too. And so once it really opens up and people are getting comfortable again, if you wait till the last minute, everything's going to be sold out.
Oh, wow.
And eventually, the suppliers, as things get safer, are going to bring their rates back up.
Okay.
So they go because they need to recoup from all the money they lost this year. so it's best to book now.
Book folks. Contact Johnny. You can set them up on a payment plan.
Yes.
Okay. So there's no excuse. Call Johnny, text him, email him, do whatever you need to do. And if you are a small business owner in the area and you want to be on our spotlight, just contact us. You'll see my information also at the end of this video. Thank you. As always, be polite, be happy, and hey, just keep smiling. Bye, folks.